Hello everyone, today we will talk about the global supply chain management for Barilla Pasta. This is because Barilla is one of the most successful firms in its supply chain management. For a start, I'll give you a bit of history. So Barilla is the biggest pasta manufacturer worldwide, and the company was created in 1877 in Parma, Italy. It has a share of 10% worldwide, a share of 30% in the US, and a share of 20% in Europe. Going back upstream to the first step of the supply chain, we will have to consider the raw materials, which are, as you can see, durum wheat, flour, semolina, rye, and vegetable fats. Barilla is the largest durum wheat user in the world, and what they do is that they blend the wheat in order to create the best quality, taste, and safety, and to create the al dente texture that identifies the Italian pasta. Another strategy that they use is that they buy the wheat in the same countries where pasta is produced. For example, in 2012, 80% of wheat was purchased where the pasta was produced. Therefore, in Italy, that is the main consumer of pasta worldwide. The remaining 20% was purchased in North America and France, which have the best durum wheat in the world. Another thing that Barilla does is that they try to avoid GMO, and that in order to have great quality, and Barilla suppliers are selected carefully and specifically in order to ensure this quality. In 2012, for example, 29 million euros were invested for quality control in the various Barilla firms worldwide. So the global supply chain for Barilla is very important, as it was defined by Guido Barilla, the company's CEO, as the driving force for the company's success. When it comes to the procurement, the phases that define it is that raw materials are received in the production plants, then they go through the transformation processes, and then inputs become outputs. The Barilla products, as you can see in the map above, are made in 30 production sites in 9 different countries. And amongst these, there are the dry product factories, which are where the pasta is made. Once production is over, pasta has to go through the distribution channel. The distribution channel starts with the dry product plants, and then the pasta is divided between a central distribution center with 65% and the Barilla run depots with 35%. The central distribution center is divided between the grande distribuzione, which is the grand distribution, and the distribuzione organizzata, which is the organized distribution. The first is concerned with chain supermarkets and the latter with independent supermarkets. And at the end, all the components receive the customers. Then, when it comes to the Barilla run depots, pasta directly goes to the small grocers and then lastly to the consumers. The consumers order usually once per day, while instead the distributors usually order once per week. And this entire process usually takes, the lead time process usually takes 10 days.
Even though Barilla has a very successful global supply chain right now, it faced a lot of difficulties, especially in the 1980s. These difficulties were caused by demand variations. In fact, these demand variations were caused by a bad forecasting system. In fact, the distributors lacked of good enough tools to predict the demand. They also had used promotions as a push strategy, and these discounts, of course, caused a lot of demand fluctuations depending on the price fluctuations of the product. And moreover, there is a large number of SKUs, and the SKUs standing for stock keeping units, meaning that there were a lot of different types of product, and this consequently caused increasing complexity in its distribution. And there were no quantity restrictions. There was no maximum or minimum for quantities ordered. All these problems caused the bullwhip effect, as you can see from the image, and the bullwhip effect then led to higher costs in transportation and in production, and moreover it led to excessive inventory investments at times and to stockouts in other periods of time, and moreover it caused difficulties in decision planning and in transportation planning.
In response to large variations in demand, Branzo Vitali, former CEO of Barilla, decided to implement the just-in-time distribution system in the 90s. So basically, what is it? It's the distributors that share their data to Barilla, so Barilla can then forecast and deliver the exact right quantity to the distributors at the right time to effectively meet demand. So they'll use the vendor-managed inventory approach, which is that the manufacturer are responsible for the order purchases and treat the end consumer data as input. And obviously, by this successful just-in-time distribution system, Barilla may be able to reduce the price of its product and to offer incentive to distributors so they will join the just-in-time distribution system as well. You have benefits from both sides, so for the distributors and the manufacturers. So the benefits for Barilla in this case are reducing manufacturing costs, increasing supply chain visibility, increased distributors' dependence on Barilla, reduced inventory cycle, and improvements manufacturing planning using objective data. Whereas for the distributors, improved fill rates to retail store, high service level, additional services to retailers without extra cost, and reduced inventory carrier. And obviously, it has its own obstacles. So, in order to be really successful, they had to overcome those internal resistance caused by the fear of reduction of responsibility by the distributors, and external obstacles caused by the perceived transfer of power to Barilla. So, in order to do that, they could involve the upper level management in their decision. In terms of sustainability, Barilla is considered to be a leader in managing environmental sustainability in the agro-food industry. And in 2010, they initiated a sustainability farming project to reduce its environmental impact of cultivating durum wheat, which is the main raw material of Barilla, in order to create this social ecological knowledge. So this project aims at reduce its environmental impact by switching from monoculture to crop rotation, and collectively find new approaches, new technologies that supports farmers' decision making. So their main focus area are food quality, food safety, nutrition, and environment protection. So basically, that's why it came very naturally to decide to have the slogan, good for you, good for the planet. So good for you, in good for you, I've presented you a few data that represent the food safety, food quality, and the nutrition. So as you can see, we've got lots of improvement over the last years. And in good for the planet is all what is linked about the environmental protection.
When it comes to technology and innovation, Barilla has always been a highly innovative company. In fact, in 1999, its logistics division separated and became independent, calling itself number one, and provided supply chain innovation services to many other companies. Moreover, in 2015, for the Milan Expo, they provided limited edition packages of farfalle, a type of pasta, with QR codes on the packages, so customers could actually scan the code with their smartphones and have an access to the digital passport of the product, meaning they could visualize all the supply chain from the grounds to the grocer. In addition to this, in 2013, they inaugurated in Parma, where the first plant originated, the world's largest automated warehouse using LGV technology. And this demonstrated the excellence in logistics at the world level. Moreover, they decided to outsource the control of transportation and optimization of transportation using Blue Jay Solutions Logistics, which is a very technological software using highly innovative solutions to centralize the planning and gain control of expenses and improve productivity. In conclusion, even though Barilla had to face numerous difficulties with its demand variations, it managed to implement the right solutions and it became a highly technological and sustainable supply chain recognized worldwide.